This was no doubt Nvidia's week. This was Microsoft's week, Scarlett Johansson's week. This was Amazon's week. This wasn't the president of Iran's week. There were a lot of interesting pieces of information, and no doubt this weekly summary is going to be very exciting with a lot of this was the week of. Are you ready for it? Then let's go. Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're new, I'm Micha Stocks, and on this channel we talk about stocks, we talk about companies, we talk about all the weekly news, and it would be amazing if you can subscribe to the channel and turn notifications on, and that way you'll be notified every week when a weekly summary is uploaded. We're currently with 3.3k subscribers, 73 videos every week, except when it doesn't upload. Let's directly start with the major averages. It might have felt a good week to some of you, but to the others, it wasn't a good week. When we start from the bottom up, the Dow Jones is down 2.3% for the week, the Russell down 1.27%, the RSP, which is the equal weighted S&P 500, down 1.25%, S&P unch on the week, and the NASDAQ up 1.4%. We'll see in a second why. You can see that the indices themselves, communication and technology, are on the green, but all the rest are on the red. Leading the decline are the energy and the real estate. When we look at the crypto market, we'll talk about the exciting news that we got during the week about the Ethereum, actually during Monday to Thursday. And you see Ethereum up 7.2%, while Bitcoin is down 0.7% for the week. When we look at crude oil, natural gas, silver, and gold, none were green, all between minus 2.8% to 4.3% for the week. And Magnificent 7 were quite magnificent this week, at least some of them. Apple up 0.06 for the week. Tesla up 1% for the week, Meta up 1.3%, Microsoft up 2.3%, and then you have Nvidia. Nvidia up 15% for the week, a new all-time high after they reported their earnings. We're going to cover pieces of information about their earnings, but it was an amazing earnings report, and it did prove to some of you that if you gamble on earnings, your account won't grow, especially if you try to short the market. Let's continue and see the heat map. As you can see, Magnificent 7 more on the green side, but most of the market was red for the week. And that will bring us to the news. Ready for them? Let's start. China ends their war games against Taiwan, part of their preparations to invade and conquer back Taiwan to be part of China. That's planned for 2027, unless it would be expedited. Of course, once we get closer to some kind of things, we will see it in the market. Currently, the market didn't react to it. Iranian president confirmed dead. I'm not going to shed any tears for that. Nvidia reported their earnings this week, and Jensen was the first one to say this is the next industrial revolution. It has begun. AI, and AI. Yes, and if you want to understand what is a revolution, you can see Nvidia's revenue per quarter as of 2020 all the way to April 2023. Very nice gain from about $1 billion April 20 all the way to April 23, got to 4.2. Very nice gain, but look at the numbers, and this is in billions per quarter. We're up from 4.2 to 10.3 to 14.5 to 18.4, and now 22.5. This is, if I'm not mistaken, 620%, 600 or 260, one of the two, more than a year before, 260%, sorry. More than the same quarter year before. You can see it here, 10.3 to 22.5. And this is only data centers. They also have smaller businesses, but this is currently driving their exponential growth in the new revolution cycle. We also had a week where RBC Capital and everyone is looking at the 10-year, which seems like it's topping and starting to reverse course. This is very good for the stock market, of course. This was the week that analysts and other economists tried to reduce their rate decline expectations. You can see that the only one that keeps their current cuts in 2024. High is Citigroup for 100 basis points. All the rest are down between 25 and 50 basis points. This was the week where the Fed minutes came out, and you can see a Fed governors that are afraid that they might reduce rates sooner rather than later, and maybe the inflation will keep or bite them in the ass, and that's why they're waiting. This was the week where Novo Nordisk showed in another trial that they can reduce the risk of death by 20% in kidney trials. This is due to use of, again, Ozempic. This was the week where Eli Lilly decided to invest another $5.3 billion in their Indiana plant to expand Mounjaro and Zepbound because of problems of supply. They just don't have enough. This was the week where the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, opens the door for a spot Ether ETF. There are about 9 different ETFs, and we might see the same phenomena that we saw with Bitcoin. At the beginning, we'll see a decline of Ethereum, and then we'll see the rally. Maybe this time it's going to be different. The only thing that currently is needed to launch these ETFs is the S1s. They'll probably be submitted in the next week or two. So give or take 2 to 4 weeks, we'll see Ether ETFs being traded. This was the week where Satya Nadella came back and said, Mac versus PC, we are back to that battle. Copilot will be incorporated as part of the PC. It will run while the computer is up. It will record everything. It will analyze and will give you the Copilot without needing any internet. That will provide new capabilities for the PC, and the Mac and Apple will need to prove something in the next 2 weeks in their WWDC. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of trouble. This was the week where a lot of QSRs between Burger King, McDonald's, and others understood that they're losing a lot of customers because of the prices going up. And they're launching $5 meals, whether it's Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's offering $3 breakfast deals, and others. This was the week where Starwood Property Trust, ticker STWD, came down 7%. And why? Because real estate trouble. It's mainly real estate or commercial real estate. More and more are reducing their exposure to real estate because of rates being so high. This might, of course, ignite a rate decline cycle, rate reduction cycle, mainly because one of these huge companies will just go bankrupt. And we saw this week Tesla breaking ground on a Shanghai free trade zone for their power grid battery factory. This factory will start by producing batteries, then producing solar panels, and more and more. This was the week where we were started to be afraid of bird flu again, or not again, bird flu, which everyone was afraid that we will see another pandemic, and that's why we saw Moderna stock and of course Pfizer stock go up, and BioNTech and Novavax, all the regular suspects that we got from the COVID. This was the week where Pfizer, although it went up, aims to save $1.5 billion in their wave of new cost cuts. This was the week where Amazon understood that no one keeps calling newborn girls Alexa anymore, but they should run an overall AI on that business. That might be the first step of the new CEO, on the new AWS CEO that replaced the previous one a week ago. This was the week where Lululemon restructures and their chief product officer is out. They need to reignite their growth, not only in the US, but also international. Yes, they're expanding international, but their growth is impacted a bit and they need to change, and they think that might be part of the product. By the way, I agree. It's part of the product currently, and I'm a Lululemon shopper and a frequent shopper, I might say. This was the week where Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella said that their cooperation and their partnership with OpenAI is one of the most strategic that they have, and running GPT on Azure provides GPT 4.0 with lower costs and faster performance. This was the week where PepsiCo got another 50 semi-trucks that's added to their 36, and PepsiCo is starting to be a very big green energy, electric, semi fleet, I want to say. This was the week where Meta apparently decided to stop investing in their own OS. They're, at least from the rumors, they're teaming up with Microsoft to bring Windows 365 to Quest. Maybe that's just one step. Maybe they might replace their whole ecosystem with Microsoft. This was the week where Mike Wilson one of the last standing bears, turns bullish on the US stock market and says the market can go up to 5,400. This is, of course, very close to where we are today, and this is the year-end target. And still, that's a change, of course, that might be his capitulation. Still, JP Morgan's Marko Kolanovic doesn't agree with him, and he still believes that we are on a bad trajectory. This was the week where ASML and Taiwan Semi, ticker ASML and TSM, updated, or at least started to say that if China invades Taiwan, they can disable their machines from a distance. Very interesting. First time we hear about that. And of course, now that Chinese heard about that, they will try to prevent it. Unfortunately, we got some also bad news this week where a passenger on Singapore Airlines from London all the way to Singapore died during severe turbulence. Boeing. Again, it's not even related to Boeing, but currently they're like, any bad news is related somehow to Boeing. Condolences, of course, to his family. This was the week where Trump's social media company opened their kimono and showed their results, and the results are very, very bad. While they make $770,000 in revenue in the last quarter, they lose hundreds of millions of dollars, and yet their market cap is $6.6 billion. That's how crazy things are currently with this stock. I'm not even close to putting my money there. I think it's going to go down like a rock eventually. Till then, it's a very nice way of cleaning money and transferring it from one side to the other. Maybe legally, and I don't know if it's not, or I don't even care. This was the week of Scarlett Johansson, which found, or at least was updated, that her voice, or Sky's voice on ChatGPT, sounds quite familiar to her. When she recalls that she was in discussion with Sam Altman and said, I don't want to participate in OpenAI's voice cloning. And then OpenAI on their side said, it wasn't you. We just took a different actress that sounds like you. Very interesting to see how this impacts, of course, all the training models that these large language models use. And does anyone have some kind of property that's their own voice, face, look? And this was the week where Jamie Dimon finally says, guys, I'm not going to stay JP Morgan's CEO forever. In the next 5 years, I will probably do something else. That's everything that happened this week. Are you ready for next week? First of all, Monday, Memorial Day, no trading. Starting on Tuesday, we will get reports or earnings from Kava, Digital Turbine, Box, and others. We will get on Wednesday morning Abercrombie & Fitch, and I don't know if you've seen Abercrombie & Fitch chart or performance in the last year. It has better performance than the best performing stock, which is Nvidia. This might be Abercrombie & Fitch, might be the new AI play, because every AI developer needs an Abercrombie & Fitch t-shirt. Chewy reports, Dick's reports, Advanced Auto Parts reports, and after the bell, we'll get Salesforce, C3 AI, UiPath, and Okta. That brings us to Thursday with a lot of retailers like Kohl's, Foot Locker, Dollar General, and Best Buy, and we'll also hear, and Burlington, of course, we'll also hear from Costco, Dell, Zscaler, Marvell, MongoDB, and Alta, and SentinelOne after the bell. That brings us to Friday with, we're almost done with S&P 500 companies reporting. And last but not least, Friday, May 31st, PCE, the Fed's preferred inflation gauge, is going to be delivered on Friday, May 31. And if it comes hotter, we will see the market selling off on the news. If it will come cooler than expected, we will see the rally being ignited again. And that brings us, as usual, to the S&P 500, presented on a trading view chart. Every color that you see here is Japanese candlesticks. You don't really need to understand all of these unless you're a trader. Trader, not traitor, trader with a D. But basically what we see right now with the S&P 500 is further from his 50-day moving average. We can see that in the last week we kind of consolidated. We might see the same phenomena that we saw. This is an outside day, so we started plus on the day. This is Thursday. We started green and we changed corrections to being red. This usually is a pattern for technical analysis that provides you an understanding that we might change direction. As you can see, it happened, by the way, April 4th, and we got a green day after, a bit of 2 up days, and then we saw this correction, about 3%. We might see it again. We will see it in the next few days. Just remember that the 50-day moving average is around 51.70. We're currently 53, so there's enough space to come down. Check for support and then continue the next leg up. Hope you enjoyed the fast-paced weekly summary. Micha Stocks saying bye-bye. See you next week.